Hey everyone, welcome back to the October series where I am going through different questions from people in the WhatsApp groups. I am taking some questions from the YouTube videos. I'll be doing one tomorrow where someone asked a bunch of good questions, and I have another one for IBS. But today, these questions are really good because they're about someone who's made a lot of progress. Their life was in a really bad spot. Now I have some questions about like having background anxiety, moms with OCD, having another child. Before I go any further, please subscribe. Hit that like button down below. The channel, the business, constantly growing. Thank you for all the support. Thank you to all the comments. Thank you to just everyone who's been in this organization for all the years I've been working in it. And thank you to all the people that continue to watch me rant and rave about OCD recovery. And Phil at OCDrecovery.com. So the first question is a common one. When the first child or second child or other children were born during moments of extreme anxiety suffering, which is understandable. Now, I don't have any children, so I can't personally relate to this, but I could tell you about what I see, okay? So having another child, when the previous child, it didn't go well. It was really bad. This person's made a lot of progress. They're nowhere near where they were. Like, let's say before it was 10 out of 10. Now it's like 1, maybe highest it can get is like a 2 out of 10, from what I know and obviously what they tell me. If you want to have another child and you've already made that decision, there's no more thinking. Have the child. That's the only thing I could say. And accept that that could bring back a whole host of different symptoms. But even for a second, if you put that on hold, you are in big fucking trouble, my friend. Because I said to this person, you've known for a while you want another child. I do. They did. That's it. That's over. I said, after the call is done, I said a joke. I said, after the call is done, go do what you need to do with your partner. Get it over with. And there she was laughing. It's the reality of it. It's the truth. Now, I know it's not that simplistic in theory, but to get the process going and accepting the realities that you could go back to your worst. This is a reality, okay? Fear when you have your life back. This goes directly into that first question. Once you've been feeling good for a very long time, whether it's from OCD recovery, anxiety recovery, any of the other anxiety-based disorders, PTSD, GAD, body dysmorphia, etc. Maybe you were addicted to hard drugs, alcoholism, injectables. You had a big gambling problem. You had a big sex addiction problem, pornography, prostitution. You get your life back. There is a piece you could go back. You cannot say for sure. How do we know this? We see people 30 years on the wagon with alcoholism go back and have a drink at the wedding, and then 6 weeks later, they're back to exactly how they were before it started 30 years ago. This happens. So you have to be aware. For myself, I don't watch adult websites, okay? I don't watch adult websites and I don't fap. I haven't done that in almost 3 years. But I know myself and I know my history. And I know the family history too, like my father. And I know I could go back on the wrong awareness of myself and not being realistic. I am in a really good spot, but I don't want to go back. But there is always that possibility I could go back. And the only thing I'd be able to do is to continue to move forward. That's it. It's binary. We're always looking for complexity. OCD is very nuanced, but certain things are not that nuanced and they're quite straightforward. Then the nuance comes throughout the air, like as you're moving forward in the meter. But there is a piece. OCD doesn't owe us anything. Life doesn't owe us anything. So you can always go back to your worst at any given time. I have had periods where I felt absolutely free for a long time, and then my OCD came back like Mike Tyson smacking me in the face with an uppercut, right? In his prime, and he looked like a monster. Just, no, I'm back. And then I just got better and better and better, where no one even knew I was having a relapse. Nobody. It's not that I couldn't share it. I just didn't see a need to because I knew all the stuff I wanted to work on. And if I did, I would say to myself, do I need a session now or can I wait 30 minutes? Can I wait a day or two? Sometimes the answer was no. Sometimes it was yes, but they can come back. Okay. Relapses and spikes, small ones. Going to happen the whole way. Your nerves have been sensitized for a while. This person especially were fucked up for a long time, like many of us, right? I did have a guy one time that came in that, this is my favorite. How long you been stuck with OCD for? 6 days. I said, oh, with this thing? No, chronically. I literally started noticing my saliva and swallowing. I went on and I was like, what the hell is going on? Your videos came up and I called you. I said, that's so crazy. That's awesome. Get right to the core, right in the beginning. No unnecessary, like, what about this, about that? So, again, life doesn't owe you anything. I can take any spike, any relapse, regardless of the severity. There won't be a singular change in my structure. There won't be a singular change in my demeanor. I'll be extremely... Now, it took me a long time to have a lot of spikes and relapses to get to where I was where I handle them so well that no one knows, going back to the fear component. And again, it's not like a I'm tougher than thing. I just realized that if I wanted to get better at wearing the fear, which is the fear of being stuck forever, the fear of going backwards, the fear of developing something new, I probably would have to get a lot better at wearing those small spikes, and also realize that my nerves have been sensitized for how fucking long. So, you know, it's like if you have a cut, you're just constantly like, it's just like constantly opening it up. It's not going to heal that well. It's probably going to take maybe a little bit longer to heal because there's more damage instead of just like a singular. So, you know, stupid example, but it just goes to show you your nerves have been sensitized for a while. Paul David explains this really well in his book, At Last a Life. Thank you, Paul, if you ever find our videos. I'm very grateful for you. So next question is 10% anxiety, very low. That's just, when that type of stuff is going on, there's nothing. As long as I'm not avoiding anything, I don't even have to really look at that in a depth perspective, per se, where I am now. If that was to flare up for a little bit, it's just, hey, this is where I'm at right now. Maybe this comes back for 6 more months. Maybe it gets worse. Go back to fear. There's no need to really get that to go away. I just wear that as best as I can and move forward. And then moms with OCD. So this goes back to the first question. So if you're putting off having a child, don't do it. OCD will always have the upper hand. Second, because of it, again, not a female, don't have all that stuff. Hormones, periods, bloating, fluctuations of migraines, all the other stuff that you guys deal with. Maybe you have PCOS, maybe you have endometriosis, maybe you've had a hysterectomy later in life and it's caused a bunch of problems. Moms are, unfortunately, going to have their own particular issues, not harder to recover, but particular issues when it comes to OCD and anxiety recovery that maybe I won't have. Women struggle with anger, but they might not struggle as much as men. Biologically, evolutionarily, yes, that's the correct word. I was tongue-tied when I was younger. Sometimes people ask me that. On my tongue, I had to get that surgery because I still can't stick my tongue out. That's it. That's the I'm not kidding. Ready? Erica loves to make fun of me for this. It's like, I can't. It's tied. It was worse than that. I used to not even be able to stick my tongue out. So I slur some of those words. Another fun fact you'll learn about me. I throw stuff in here like this. So, but you're going to have those things bother you. You're having a higher probability of harm OCD. Why you value your children? If not, you're crazy. Someone just heard that was like, no! So, but you're going to probably have the harm OCD, the POCD, all the other things that come in there because of the value system around your children, understandably so. Remember, acceptance doesn't mean agreement, and dealing with those realities, right? There's a lot of things that I didn't want to deal with from my particular perspective. I was growing up, as I always say, in an angry household, so I had a lot more anger I had to deal with than maybe some other people. It's just the way it is. So everyone's going to have something. I always say this to people I coach. Whether it's a cultural thing, whether it's something about the way you look or how you believe, there's going to be some sort of difficulties that certain people will have to overcome. Take existential solipsism OCD. Could that latch on me? Of course. I mean, I had DPDR for years, but it would be difficult for it to latch because I don't believe in anything after life. So I don't really believe in free will for the most part. I don't know if I'm more in deterministic types of views and things are already pre-planned because you can make both arguments for that. Well, if there's no free will, then it's determined. But it's also going to be determined if you believe in God in certain ways. Because certain people hold different beliefs on that. Some severe, like let's say some people that are Christians believe in free will. I know some Christians who believe in more deterministic views. It's already pre-planned by God. So, but because I don't believe in any of that, and I think that life has no universal meaning whatsoever, your just meaning is to try to keep yourself as, in my opinion, this is what I say, as least, that's why Epicureanism, Epicures, I think, has a lot of great stuff. Keeping yourself in a place where you're moving forward and trying to experience the least amount of pain as possible as you work on things that can make you feel better and build your life. And not means in an emotional way, but I don't have to deal with that stuff than say a mom who is Catholic and really believes in good and evil. Again, nothing wrong with that. And that will be an easier latching mechanism for that. But then just handling those realities. So thank you again, Phil at OCDrecovery.com. Let me know what you think. Thank you for all the support over the years. Thank you to everyone. And I hope to hear from you soon. Enjoy the rest of your day.